Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking about AEW Collision, the return of Jade, Cargill, and possibly the retirement of Bryan Danielson. We'll talk about all that. Of course, we're also going to talk about WWE Smackdown, where they teased, LA Knight versus Roman Reigns. Is it possible LA Knight's going to finish his story? We'll find out. We got a lot to talk about with that. I think later on today we might have a news brief, depending if we can scrap up enough news, so be on the lookout for that as well. But today we're talking about Smackdown and
Collision. Let's start with the bit on the thumbnail that you mentioned earlier. LA Knight. Potential feud with Roman Reigns. So LA Knight had a match against Austin Theory. A pretty long promo bit with Theory and Grayson Waller. LA Knight came out of the winning end of all those things.
Of course.
And then later on, interrupted a conversation between Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce in Pearce's office. And Heyman's like, "Oh, huge fan of your work, but next time the doorman tells you I'm in here conducting business, you better knock." He said, "Make myself clear." And LA Knight just gets right in his face and goes, "Yeah."
Should have said,
leaves.
Nah. But yeah, it's his like main catchphrase. Man, we had heard that with this new mega deal comes a mega push. And I can't think of a better push at all, Larson, than WrestleMania 40. Finding out truly whose game it is. You know, Triple H might have to sit down. Like we saw before, Triple H sits down in the locker room with Cody Rhodes and says, "Cody, I know you got this story here that you want to finish, but we've got an idea. You're going to finish that story against Gunther for that Intercontinental Championship. That's going to be the finish of your story. I know your dad really wanted that Intercontinental Championship, and so you could pivot your story, and you could do that.
Triple H retconning Cody's story in its entirety.
Look, man, look. I know Cody right now is the number one merch seller, but LA Knight is hot on his heels at number 3. And I kind of feel like that's because they don't really mass produce all sorts of different variations of LA Knight stuff. And so I say Triple H goes. He says, "Look, Cody, you're a grade A superstar in WWE, but you're not a mega star. It's time for the LA Knight setup. And you don't get that, Cody."
You don't get that, Cody. Here's the thing. Like, seriously talking about it. Like, Roman's on TV at this juncture so infrequently.
Yeah, he's never there.
He's never there. I imagine he'll be back for Survivor Series for something. Who knows what that's going to be? Whether it's going to be him and Seth, title versus or champion versus champion. Are they not going to go that route as to not make the World Heavyweight Championship look even more like a secondary title than it already is?
Ouch.
To the undisputed title, which Roman holds.
Yeah.
More immediately, I can definitely see a situation. We can kind of segue into this conversation a bit, too, about Jimmy Uso. He goes up to Heyman early in the show and pretty much says, "No one told me I was out of the bloodline, so I'm still in the bloodline, right? Let's go. I got this match against AJ. What's the plan? Let's strategize." And Heyman's kind of like, "Hold on. Technically, you're right. If you're not out, you're in, but you're not in."
Not super in. There's
Roman
levels
says,
to that, apparently.
Yeah, there's levels to that. You're not in until Roman says you're in. So prove your bona fides tonight and take care of AJ Styles. Of course, Jimmy loses that match in the main event. Could it be a situation where Heyman says, "I have a problem. Yeah, I have an LA Knight problem. Yeah, Jimmy, you want to prove your worth to the bloodline, take care of this LA Knight problem. Yeah." But does Jimmy take care of the LA Knight problem?
Nah.
And that, at least at this juncture, might be the extent of of LA Knight's involvement in the Bloodline saga. Maybe he gets to Solo even. Maybe he even gets to Solo.
Man, dude, I'm sorry. If you go to Jimmy and Solo, you got to go to the Tribal Chief. You'll probably end up on his back staring out the lights. But
yeah.
But dude, I don't know. It all depends on where they see LA Knight, I guess, as like a fixture on WWE programming. Like, I don't think it's going to be LA Knight to dethrone Roman.
No.
But it could be. Look, they're going to have a Roman problem after he's done, after probably Cody dethrones him. because there's going to be like, it's going to be just all the main eventers that he's beaten. And so I don't know, maybe getting beat by Roman isn't, man, I don't know. I don't know what you do, because like there's a bunch of weird stuff coming. Like Roman's not going to be at Fastlane.
No, he's not.
He's not going to be there.
He'll be at Survivor Series. He'll be at the Rumble. He'll be at Mania. Otherwise, don't know.
I mean, dude, I don't know. They could, I guess, do LA Knight versus Roman at the Rumble. Like there are not very many opponents left for him. I mean, they did Seth last year at the Rumble. They're not going to do title versus title at the Rumble this year. That doesn't make any sense. Like you said, it's possible they do it at Survivor Series, but regardless, Roman is not going to lose to anybody anytime soon. The earliest would probably be WrestleMania. But, I mean, Cody lost to Roman at WrestleMania last year, or this year. And, he's a bigger star now than he was before. There's really not much shame in losing to Roman Reigns.
No.
And in fact, then you're sort of a made guy. Like people see you as like a main event guy if you get that space with Roman Reigns. I mean, you see how, I know like the storyline sort of cooled off on Sami Zayn, but he's still one of the most popular guys who's out there. He starts a lot of episodes of WWE TV, and they're probably going to heat him back up with this Kevin Owens stuff.
Yeah,
so
likely.
Like anything else, man, as long as they have really compelling storylines for LA Knight, and I feel like as we saw on SmackDown, like he pretty easily took care of Austin Theory. I'm sure he'll probably, he's going to get this rematch with The Miz. He'll easily beat The Miz. And so maybe this push will get him to the Royal Rumble against Roman, and Roman will beat him. But it's also keeping LA Knight out of the Rumble so that people won't revolt when he gets eliminated.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he'll have a big spotlight match at WrestleMania. I don't know, maybe they would do LA Knight versus Solo at WrestleMania to keep him involved kind of with the bloodline. I don't really know. But it seems, I mean, that him just meeting Paul Heyman to me says, big things to come for LA Knight, right?
Yeah. If you cross paths with the bloodline in any capacity, seemingly it's because they have their sights set on you getting involved in that story. And if it's a situation where LA Knight feuds with Jimmy and moves up to Solo, even without moving up to Roman, either way, you're involved in the bloodline story. That's still the A story in the company.
Speaking of the guy who has been messing around with other bloodline people, with Jimmy specifically, AJ Styles. That's another option potentially for Roman. I would think probably, look, AJ, he's a former champion. Everybody loves AJ Styles. He seems to have enough issues with his own crew. Them just dicking around evidently. And I don't know how that's going to settle
Good
itself.
Brothers are just a couple of goofballs.
Do you have any thoughts on like what exactly? Do they just want him to be like a solo guy again? Or I like him with the OC.
I don't mind him with the OC, but they just don't do anything with the OC.
Right? Yeah, that's sort of the problem.
The Good Brothers and Mia Yim for that matter are barely on TV, or when they are, it's strictly to serve AJ's story rather than have them involved in their own stories. So if breaking them apart means, which is a massive if, they each get their own stories, cool.
That is a big if, yeah.
It'd be great to see them all involved in doing things of consequence rather than just goofing off backstage and AJ walks up to him and gets all mad. And also, here's the thing, if you split them all up, it enhances Karrion Kross's story that you win or lose coming out of a feud with Karrion Kross, you're different. You're changed. Something happens to your career and life.
That is, I like that as sort of the cherry on top, but they could also, this would be kind of weird if they were going in a super long-term direction. You got some discord in the Judgment Day. That ain't going to go away. Finn Balor and JD McDonough are probably going to end up splitting from the Judgment Day. That's a possible scenario at least.
Yeah.
Finn Balor's got history with the Good Brothers. Maybe that they're going to be the new tag team, or they're going to be the tag team of whatever this,
Judgment Day.
The new Judgment Day or whatever they're Judgment Night. Yeah, exactly. Not referring to the movie or soundtrack, the groundbreaking
However,
soundtrack.
you could use the song Judgment Night for the soundtrack, the movie Judgment Night for Judgment Night's theme. That
for
would be
Judgment
cool.
Night's theme, yeah, exactly.
That would be great.
Maybe Alter Bridge can do a cover of the song.
That's true.
Judgment Night.
Yeah. Remember when they tried to do Finn and Good Brothers for like 3 weeks? They tried to make that a thing for like a really short amount of time.
Yeah,
and then dropped.
Barely, yeah. But like, this is a new, Triple H.
New era, yeah.
It's a new era. Apparently today is the first day. Is today the day that the Endeavor deal is done with?
Tomorrow.
So today's the last. I see this all over Twitter. Today's the last day that Vince McMahon. How quickly do you think it's going to be before they get rid of Vince?
I don't know for sure that they are.
You know what? Maybe we'll do that for News Brief. We'll speculate on all that shit on News.
Oh, okay. We'll take 10 minutes just to speculate on various situations where.
Yeah. You're right. Are we going to do a News Brief on Matt Riddle's adventures at the airport?
Oh, my gosh.
What a mess.
What a mess. What a mess.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's talk about Jimmy real quick again, because he seems to want to be back in the bloodline after something that want nothing to do with bloodline. His motivations, is he doing this because he wants to be heir to the throne? He wants to usurp Solo spot as right-hand man to the tribal chief. Is he trying to get his way back in the bloodline to destroy it? Like, his motivations thus far are not exactly clear, although he seems to want to get back in.
I think that the motivation should be that the merch checks aren't coming in the way they did when he was with Bloodline.
Yeah.
That
all about
should
that
be
money, huh?
Yeah, he should want that money. And he's like, man, I'm having a hard time feeding my family. Like, my new theme song kind of sucks. Nobody wants to buy a Jimmy shirt. They all want the J shirts. But I don't get that merch anymore. I'm kind of a loser.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's kind of a mess. He kind of regrets all of his decisions.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, so that dude put the shirt back on and said, hey, Solo said I'm still in, right? So that's kind of pathetic. He was looking kind of pathetic, dude. He was like, see, look, I put the wheel, and it's got like a mustard stain on it.
Yeah, I know. He pulled it out of the trunk of his car.
Right, exactly.
It's under the spare tire,
He was like, there was like something spilled, like some milk spilled in the back when he was getting his groceries,
like,
and he used that shirt to sop it up.
Jimmy, why does that shirt smell so sour?
Don't be sour.
Don't be sour. Oh, man. Also confirmed on SmackDown, we're getting it. We're getting the feud. Asuka. Io Sky.
Yeah.
Excited for this. This is going to be great.
Yeah, this is going to be really cool, man. I like Asuka, just sort of the troll. I hope that she really focuses in on the super violent Asuka that the clown makeup sort of, was supposed to indicate. But no, I love this. I think I always go back to that first moment when her and Io had that sort of all Japanese language promo when Io just punctuates by going, bitch. And so they hinted at that, and now it seems like we're going to get it. I get it was interesting to hear the crowd primarily be on Io's side, man. I love that the crowd really recognizes what Io brings to the table. She's a phenomenal wrestler. She's so much fun, tons of charisma, personality, all that kind of stuff. And I do get the feeling that this is going to be, Io, Asuka putting over Io, making her look like $1 million. But in the meantime, whatever matches we get, and hopefully it's plural, more than one, I'm looking forward to that, man. I don't know how long it's going to extend. They could take this feud and extrapolate it out for months, though.
Oh, they definitely could. They
should, honestly. This is
they totally should.
Generational type feud. This is going to be good.
Definitely. Well, with that in mind, we could segue into the SmackDown recap. Opening match was Charlotte and Shotzi taking on Damage Control members Bayley and Io, and it was during this match that Asuka versus Io was set up. Down towards the finish here, Charlotte locks on a figure four on Bayley. Io breaks it up with the running Meteora. Then Io hits Charlotte with a top rope Hurricane Rana. Bayley goes up top, tip an elbow, but Asuka shows up in the Timekeeper's area. And then pops up from behind there and takes the women's title off at Dakota's shoulder. So Bayley's distracted by that. And that allows Shotzi to hit her finisher on Bayley to get the win. And afterwards, Asuka gets the ring and Io gets the ring and step up to each other. They have a stare down. They start talking trash to one another.
Yeah, man.
And, later on. there's this great interview bit, which kind of runs counter to how a lot of Damage Control interview segments have gone, over the last few months, where Bailey's accepting challenges on other members' behalf, where it's Io's like, no, this is my challenge to Asuka.
Yeah.
I want this match.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really like that, like, sort of. Do you think, let me ask you this, do you think that what we saw last night, understanding that it's going to be kind of difficult for Damage Control, like, is this basically like a face turn for Damage Control? Because, they picked up the loss here. I know Charlotte's supposed to be a good guy, and Shotzi's supposed to be a good guy too. But, there's not a lot of discord between the members of Damage Control, and clearly, I don't know why anybody would consider Io a bad guy. Typically, it's just Bailey because she's sort of obnoxious, but that was sort of dialed down last night in her interview. Anyway, she was just very serious, and she's like, "Hey, how dare Asuka mess with us? This is the champion." And then Io, like you said, accepted. I wonder if this is going to signify sort of a face turn of sorts for the group.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't know if they're kind of setting up Asuka to be like the primary heel in the SmackDown Women's division. Don't know,
because I don't know at this point if they did do a thing with Bailey and Charlotte, for example, which seems to be what they might do. I don't know that Bailey would be the bad guy in that feud, like, to the crowd. Like, she's so damn entertaining. Yeah. And the crowd is so used to Charlotte being a bad guy. And I just go back to when Charlotte first came back as a good guy, and, like, she had to, like, remember good guy tendencies.
Yeah, I know. She, like, yanked the title from the ref, and it's like, oh, wait, no.
Oh, shit, no.
I got to hold it up and smile, like a baby face would, yeah.
And I kind of feel like that might be a natural way to go, is just go back to Charlotte being a bad guy and Bailey being a good guy, because Bailey, even as, and I'm not saying go back to the wacky, wavy, inflatable dudes, but because
that'd be great. Imagine Damage Control themed ones of those.
Oh, that would be sick. Now, yeah. I'm just saying she can't go back to that weird, like, adult child that she used to be.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, doing some Damage Control, wacky, wavy inflatables.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be kind of
like a Damage
Remember when she took an axe to those things?
Yeah.
And there was like footage of like a child crying at home. Like, no, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
something else,
up, man. That was messed up.
Then we're backstage. Jimmy walks up to Paul Heyman, and Jimmy says to him, "Last week I was told by John Cena the wrong Uso brother quit. On top of that, I was told by my little brother Solo that you ain't out of the bloodline unless we say you're out. OG, nobody told me anything about being out of the bloodline, so guess what?" And he pulls down his shirt and says, "We the ones," points at it.
Right here.
I'm in. Yeah. I'm in. What are we doing tonight? AJ, what's the strategy?
Yeah.
And so Heyman goes, "First of all, Solo isn't here tonight. The Tribal Chief is not here, but always represented. Technically, you're right. If you're not out, then you're in. But there's in, and then there's in."
He's so hesitant to even talk to Jimmy.
Oh, he just wants to get out of this conversation so quickly.
He really does.
He says, "You're not in until the Tribal Chief says you're in." He did offer you the house and the car and the yacht, but listen, do yourself a favor. You handle the AJ Styles business tonight, and I'll handle Jimmy Uso business with the Tribal Chief. Before you know it, Jimmy, I'll bring this family back together." Jimmy's like, "Great, that sounds good." He wants to shake Paul's hand. Paul just walks off.
Oh, he just wants out of there.
Nothing to do with Jimmy. So he walks right up to AJ Styles and says to him, "Funny, I was just talking about you. Don't you think you have enough problems in your life before you decide to tangle? You want to tangle with me?" So AJ he's just ready to pop off.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like he's tightly wound anger at this point. And he grabs Paul by the lapel and says, "Who do you think you are? You got zero clout around here." Well, Jimmy comes from behind and blasts AJ. Actually, Paul Heyman has tons of clout.
He has like the most clout of anybody there.
He's got a lot of clout. And he rams AJ's head into a road case and throws him over another one. So Jimmy looks at Heyman, says, "Head out that AJ Styles business. AOG, yeet." And then he just leaves. And Heyman goes, "Call Roman Reigns."
You got to appreciate Jimmy. Jimmy's kind of a mess, man. He's a wild card.
He really is.
Like, you got to admit, like his line to Paul earlier about, man, John Cena said the wrong Uso. Like, why would John Cena? You're not even involved in this shit. You're just sitting at home watching, and you show up and you say the rudest thing possible to me.
Here's the thing, though. John Cena is an unbiased observer to this whole saga.
That's why it hurts.
So if he said to me something like that, that would sting.
Oh, it would definitely
it's
sting.
Like you
Absolutely.
have John Cena, you have no skin in this game.
Yeah,
You're just calling it like it is.
Spitting facts. He's the ultimate Dr. Manhattan of the freaking WWE. he sees all. He understands all.
And he levitates with no clothes on, too, right?
His thing is blue dingus and balls just out everywhere on fucking Mars or the moon or wherever he was. Yeah, crazy stuff. Anyways, man, before we continue on, would you like to pay some bills?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Hey, Steve.
Yes?
I don't know if you noticed this weekend, but football is back in full swing with another week of epic games. And who's got you covered on the action for every single one of them? DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets.
And get this, Larson. Nobody is missing out on the action this season because that's right. All customers, all of them, can take advantage of 2 new offers every game this September.
So get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code RAW at sign-up. New customers can bet just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code RAW. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms for eligibility, terms and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
And this episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Steve, I don't know if this happens to you, but for as long as I can remember, I've had a hard time quieting down my brain when it's time to get some shut-eye, some sleep. And it became a major problem back when I started dealing with some really severe anxiety about 20 years ago or so.
Yeah, man. I'm sure you know this now, Larson, but one way to quiet those racing thoughts is to talk your way through them, and therapy gives you an opportunity to do that so you can get out of those negative thought cycles and find some peace.
Yeah, back in my 20s when my anxiety was just really bad, I made the realization that I had to go to therapy. Well, it took me a couple tries to find someone I felt comfortable talking to. Once I did, I was able to learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/raw.
All right, so after that, we had a Damage Control interview. That's when Bayley says Asuka's not the champ anymore, so she should mind her own business, or else we're going to put her on the shelf just like we did Bianca. And then Kayla says, well, is that a challenge? And Io brings the mic to her and says, I'm ready for Asuka. That's a challenge for the title. We find out when that happens in a little bit, but first we have, LA Knight, man, those people go crazy for his music. I can't wait till September, whenever it is, 30th, 29th. I guess? 29th? Oh, boy, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
So that we get to mark out huge for LA Knight.
Are we getting on that SmackDown? We're getting LA Knight and we're getting John Cena. John Cena's on that SmackDown, too. He was advertised for it, at least.
It's kind of awesome. It's like the best thing.
Maybe Cody will be there, too, Steve.
Oh, I can only pray,
Oh, you're going to have a full soil from excitement. A full soil.
Full soil. I might full soil twice. I might empty out like you're
double
like
full soil.
Yeah, like you had for your colonoscopy. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to do that, but natural from the John
just a
Cena
steady stream,
oscopy.
you're saying, yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just going to
every 45 minutes.
It's going to flow. It's like a progressive match flow, baby. Anyway,
it's going to be like diarrhea plane on our aisle at Golden One, right?
I love how obsessed you are with diarrhea plane. It's like, why is that not a movie? You had snakes on a plane.
This guy had a snake you had tornado with sharks.
Yeah, right. I want diarrhea plane movie. Why is everybody diarrheaing on this plane? On this motherfucking plane. So anyways, LA Knight comes out and says, let me talk to you. I don't know if everybody got to see the Miz's scintillating performance on Raw, but let's go ahead and dissect that for a second. How's that song of his go? I came to play, right? Now, if I was a complete moron, I'd say, look at that adjective. But I'm not a moron, Kevin Nash, so I'm not going to say, so I'm going to say, let's look at the verb, play. I didn't come here to play. I came here to walk straight to the damn top. And everybody who stands in my way, brother, you got a little taste of it. Here you are, man. 1 week you play dress up. The next week you play make-believe with Invisible John Cena, and you whine and cry and say, LA Knight won because of John Cena, right? Nah. Here's the deal. I didn't ask for John Cena. I don't need John Cena. In fact, I didn't even need John Cena's endorsement. I've endorsed myself to stand right here. Got all the respect in the world for everything John Cena's accomplished, but at the end of the day, he did count the 3. So, Miz, you can chap your keister all you need. By the way, nothing says this guy is 40 plus by using keister over and over again. It's my favorite thing.
I love it.
He says, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but you swallow it most certainly will. That if you want to be a cockroach that needs to be stomped out one more time, then Miz, I tell you what, consider your challenge accept. But then he's boom, interrupted by Grayson Waller. You could be the bad guys here, man.
Oh, sure. I'll be Grayson Waller. He comes to the stage, says, hold on, LA Knight. Or sorry, hold on, La Knight.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's a good idea? After the Miz ran through John Cena on Raw, it's almost like he wasn't even there. So before you get ahead of yourself and accept this challenge, me and my associate, Austin Theory, we were talking, well, I'll bring him out to say it. So Theory walks out to the ramp, and yet Waller's the one that keeps on talking.
Mm-hmm.
Waller says they beat Ray and Santos last week, and they're the only tag team on the roster who's undefeated. Realistically, they're the greatest tag team all time if they decide to be. So the LA Knight responds.
He says, wait, shit, where am I?
You guys are really proud of yourself.
Oh, you guys are really proud of yourselves. I mean, obviously you're a fan favorite. And then crowd's all boo. He says, I don't know why you're telling me. Maybe she's sick of it. I don't know why you're not telling your mommy. Speaking of her, tell her I said hi, yeah.
So then Theory goes, let me talk to you. Who's the ref that helped LA beat Miz? Oh, yeah, John Cena, the man that I beat. He keeps on going on. It's like, who's this? LA Knight, the man that I've beat as well. Waller, let me ask you, at 26 years old, who's already become a 2-time U.S. champ? Austin Theory. And then LA Knight. Well, you've just been here, and I'm glad you're here because all of this, because I'm done. What the, man? He said it.
I'm glad you're here because take all this in because when I'm done with you,
oh, yeah.
the Miz ain't going to waste his time. And then Knight says, you guys are cute. Right, if you're done boring everything, why don't I show you how you incels how to do this? Who's my guy to the right? A mushmouth moron. Yeah. Who's this guy to the left? A cross-eyed half-wit. Yeah. But I tell you what, if you two crotch goblins want to get some... See, I have to point this out, though, but the fact that he said incels and crotch goblins, that's the LA Knight that I liked.
He brought Dummy back at a house show.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, people saying that in chat.
That's the thing. I hope that he went to them and said, look, I appreciate that you're trying to flesh me out, but Dummy's my thing, incels my thing, saying things like keister and crotch goblins. I sort of need to do that to remain true to myself.
Yes.
He says you two crotch goblins want to get served. We can make it happen right now. TD Garden stands on Legends Way, and it ain't a very legendary way at 26 years old. Austin Theory can get his keister kicked by with everybody saying, so you want some hard candy? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You want a Werther's original?
I got my AARP membership. Who wants to go to Denny's for a discount? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So that match was next, LA Knight versus Austin Theory. LA Knight defeated Austin Theory relatively easily. Hit him with the billionaire finger trap BFT. And afterwards, Waller tries to sneak attack LA Knight, but LA Knight, whether it's his Kavorka or spider sense was tingling, turned around and saw Waller trying to attack him.
The hard candy sense, man. It's the hard candy
sense.
That's what it was.
Yes, what it was.
Oh
my
man.
Goodness.
Yeah, that was good stuff. So after that, we had AJ Styles interview. Kathy says, are you in any condition to compete? Says, he's so grumpy all the time these days.
He is super grumpy.
Yeah, he's like, if I'm standing, I can fight. Jimmy Uso can jump me from behind as many times as he wants, but there's nothing going to stop me from tearing his head off tonight. So then Heyman is in Pierce's office, and Heyman's like, no one, especially not AJ Styles, is going to put their hands on the wise man. You need to handle this after you tell me who's being traded from Raw to SmackDown. Pierce says, you can keep asking me this, but you know as well as I do, those decisions come from the highest level. So, and then LA Knight comes in sweaty. And he says, you heard on Monday from Miz, you heard tonight from me. Make the match. And Pierce is like, okay, fine. Next week. And then he's like, yeah. So LA Knight turns to Heyman. Heyman says, we've never been formally introduced. My name is Paul Heyman, and I'm a huge admirer of your work. And LA Knight says, really? And Heyman says, yeah. Get it? It's catchy. I see what I did there. I love it. Let me help you out another way. The next time the guy out there by the door tells you that I'm in here doing business, do yourself a favor and knock first. Are we clear? LA Knight gets in really close and says, yeah. But he's like giving him the stink eye.
Yeah. A very threatening, yeah.
Yeah, it was very menacing, yeah, there. No hard candy for you, yeah.
No. So after that, we got Judgment Day defending the tag titles. Actually, I don't think they were defending the tag titles. It was just a match against Brawling Brutes.
Mm-hmm.
So before the match, though, there's promos. First from Judgment Day. Priest says, all rise for the crew with all the gold and all rise for the Judgment Day. And Finn says, who's better than us? Nobody.
Who better?
So Smackdown, take a look. You got Senior Mr. Money in the Bank, Senior Money in the Bank over here. You got Grand Slam Finn, where your tag champion, still celebrating his 1-year anniversary since joining the Judgment Day, and the North American champ, Dirty Dom Mysterio. Tell them all, Dom. So Dom tries to talk, and it literally sounded like the crowd was booing loudly, but they turned Dom's mic down, so you couldn't hear anything he was saying.
I think that they're probably manipulating the sound on this because you could see the crowd booing, but it was ridiculously loud, and I don't know if they're like, I don't think they need to pipe in boos, but I do think that they might want it to be absurd. And so maybe just to accomplish that, they're either turning him down, which it seemed like they were, or piping in him, or a little bit of both, because
it could be.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it really is a lot.
It really is. He was talking about Rhea wrestling in India for a Superstar Spectacle. Priest says, we're proud of Rhea Ripley. We're also proud that we accomplished something not even the Bloodline could do. We accomplished something not even Roman Reigns could do. We beat Sami and Kevin Owens and took their tag titles from them. And so Dom adds, they didn't turn his mic down quite as low this time. And Jay, like I said, you always have a family here in Judgment Day because we're all equals and we're the most dominant group in WWE. So that brings out the Brawling Brutes. Butch just yells out, it's fight night. Rid says, did Dom say that these guys are the most dominant group in WWE? Well, the Brawling Brutes are here. We're looking to put on a banger in Beantown here in Boston. You look happy with those shiny new titles, but you picked the wrong opponents because I've made a habit of breaking fellas like you. It's not me you need to worry about. It's this fella. Pointing to Butch. And Finn laughs. And they're like, he says, they want me to worry about this fella. I don't care about you. So Butch grabs his hand and snaps his fingers. Of course, comically, Finn just like, oh, gosh. Yeah, sells it, rolls out of the ring. Brutes clear Judgment Day out. Smackdown rolls on. We come back. A commercial match is happening. Pretty deadly. Watching backstage, Elton Prince with his arm in a sling, sitting in a wheelchair. Watching it with Kit Wilson. Of course, Judgment Day gets the win here because they're not losing the Brawling Brutes. They just won those tag titles.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
That bit where Priest choke slams Ridge and then Butch onto Ridge. Woo!
Yeah. The claim that Ridge has that the Brawling Brutes are anywhere close to being top faction is kind of comical at this point. It's not.
I do like on SmackDown. This was explicitly stated by Lashley after this match. We almost got a bit of a turf war going on SmackDown where various factions are laying claims like, all right, Bloodline's on its way out. The writing's on the wall.
I do
We're
appreciate
to fight
that.
now to make this show about us when the Bloodline falls apart.
And you're right. They're laying that groundwork, which is something that we haven't really seen WWE do in a very long time. And that's why I'm bringing up stuff like the possibility of, okay, well, you got the Good Brothers. They've got, they got history with Finn. Maybe if you see the writing on the wall there, that's a possibility. Just because, especially with it being, I don't know, with it being Vince's last day of having total unified control over WWE.
Oh man, is he gonna rewrite Raw today, just make it a complete fucking mess? It's the last time I can put my stamp on it. I know.
I mean, from what I understand, like he's still going to control WWE's aspect of things. Just he's not going to have total voting power, and they will technically be able to kick him out for one reason or the other, but it's going to be very difficult to do that unless they have a very good reason to.
The list of reasons for which he could be removed is pretty small.
Right, exactly. But a federal investigation might warrant it. I don't know. But no, I don't know. Like under Triple H, things seem to be going pretty well. And from everything that we've heard, none of the shows have been being changed around. And he might still be rehabbing his back. I don't know. But it seems like Vince is kind of out of the picture right now.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. They understand the bloodline is not going to last forever. And we need to start setting some stuff up. Plus, Survivor Series, they might be doing some gang warfare type stuff there.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
It's possible. It would make sense. It would make sense. It'd be a different angle, especially. I mean, whether they do war games or not, it would make sense. So, anyways, Finn gets the win, pins Ridge after a coup de grace. Judgment Day celebrating in the ring. Lashley's music hits. He and the Street Profits walk to the ring, and Lashley steps right up to Damian Priest and says, "You guys are right about one thing. The bloodline is crumbling, but it's not Judgment Day's taking over. It's going to be us."
Yeah, man. Yeah. That was good stuff. Lashley definitely has the alpha out of all of them, though.
Oh, yeah.
Are you surprised at all that when they faced off, Priest was facing off with Lashley as opposed to Finn? I mean, it definitely seems like Priest, they want to sort of push him as the main guy, or at least the guy who'd be going up against the other alphas of the factions. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
he is Mr. Money in the Bank, you know.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the most prominent, at least in the men's division, prominent accolade of the three members of Judgment Day.
Yeah, right.
But you think, Street Profits, they'll probably challenge for the tag title. So you think, oh, it'll be them across from Finn and Priest. But then if it's Dom face to face with Lashley, that you do that for laughs. You don't do that for any sort of serious stare down.
Right? Yeah, you do that. Yeah, that's
you
a bit
see Dom like scared to make eye contact with Lashley because Lashley'd rip him in half.
Yeah, you know what they should do, of course. What they should do. Rhea shows up next week on SmackDown with Judgment Day. Although I know Bianca's got issues with Io and Bayley and them, but Bianca makes her big return. She comes back for Survivor Series and do like a big mixed 4-on-4 type situation.
That'd be cool.
And she joins up with Montez and the dudes there.
Yeah,
that could be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way that they just sort of fiddle with traditional dynamics in the Judgment Day for their faction. I think it'd be awesome because, you got Bobby, who's like a total, alpha, but then Bianca would totally be the alpha of that group as well, given her accolades and what she represents.
I mean, Rhea is without a doubt the alpha of Judgment Day. She's the only one that has any sort of vision of what that group should be.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Everybody else gets too sucked in, except for Dom. He's too kind of meek to do much of anything about it. But Priest and Finn, they're at each other's throats over their own personal wants and desires as opposed to doing what's best for the group. And Rhea always seems to have, all right. I love when she said it on Raw. It's like the infighting going on here is affecting challengers feeling like to step up to me.
Yeah, right, exactly,
Because this group is such a mess, perception is we're weak. We can't have that because then people are going to come after us. We got to project strength.
Yeah, right, yeah.
We're too scared to come after us.
Yeah.
You guys ain't doing that. Get your shit together.
And if they continue, and this is what I'm advocating for, is don't try to make, if they go the route of adding Bianca to that group, which is kind of a big if, I think, but it'd be really cool. Don't try to mimic the dynamic of the Judgment Day. Give it its own dynamic. Like every situation should be its own unique thing, as opposed to, we're going to make it like another Judgment Day. It's like, no, add Bianca because that'd be awesome. Yeah. People would love to see that.
Yeah.
And then give it its own feel, its own structure, Yeah,
totally.
So, yeah.
Speaking of structure or lack thereof, we're backstage. You got the Good Brothers goofing off, playing like Angry Birds on the phone or something. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing. I forget.
Nothing serious. Yim's there, and AJ steps in, and he's upset with them. He's like, "You have any idea what's going on? Did you see Jimmy jump me from behind?" And Carl Anderson, all he can muster is, "I'm sorry, brother." AJ just smacks the phone out of his hand.
Oof.
Sorry, is that all it is? Carl says, "We were the ones who told you not to get involved in bloodline business." And AJ's like, "No, we always have each other's back, always, right or wrong. You know what? This is what it's going to be. I don't want you guys anywhere near my match tonight." He storms off.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. This is a really silly question.
Yes.
Do they have like prop phones for them to do that with.
Oh, I imagine, yeah.
But does that happen enough to warrant having prop phones around?
I would think so. It's good to have.
Segments where like they throw phones to the ground.
That makes sense. Even if I was making $500,000, like maybe Carl Anderson's making 300,000. I don't know what she's making. Six figures, without a doubt, more than I'm making.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, we want you to do a segment with your phone where AJ is going to slap it out of your hand." I'd be like, "No, It's not about the money. It's like so much of my existence is on this device.
I don't know what's in the cloud or not.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what's backed up. Yeah,
it's like I'm sure in you got it somewhere in the prop department, in all the iPhone 6 or something like that. Get that out.
Yeah.
My parents, I swear, against the wall.
My parents have never traded a phone in because, like, when I was going there, with my dad passing, there's all sorts of stuff. Like, we're all rooting through stuff and everything, and my mom's trying to find like pictures and passwords and this and the other, and so like, there's just stuff, and there's like a fucking box. Man, it's like if you're like a spy and you need all sorts of different burner phones and passports and shit. There's like iPhone 3, 4, 8, 10, all sorts of shit. There's like there's like no Motorola bricks, but there's quite a few flip phones as well.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's like a Radio Shack in their house.
Yeah, dude. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I was like looking, what can I get this for? Because like I heard like a boxed iPhone 1 went for like a couple $100,000 on eBay. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's wild.
They did not have that though, so unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to pay my house off with one of their.
That's a bummer. Maybe something else. Maybe buy an iPhone 15 and just don't do anything with it.
Yeah, just box it and wait 20
and then
years.
Wait 30 years, and maybe it'll be worth something.
Boom, retire off that shit.
Probably not, because it's like iPhone 1.
Yeah, right.
You'll just want that for the collectible aspect of it, I guess.
So after that, we had a Superstar Spectacle recap. And then we had an Asuka promo where she starts off in Japanese, but then says, "They forgot about me. They forgot I was the champion. Io has my title, but in 2 weeks, I'm taking it back because nobody is ready for Asuka." And then we had our main event, Jimmy Uso versus AJ Styles. Kind of a long match. Wasn't the most compelling thing in the world.
No, I mean, it was all kind of centered around Solo coming to ringside, and Jimmy a couple times setting AJ up for Solo to interfere and help him, but Solo would be like, "Nah, I ain't getting involved in this. I'm just here watching."
Yeah, right.
That's after Heyman said Solo wasn't even in the building.
Yeah, what's
Friday
up with that?
Night.
You lied.
I know.
Well, I guess maybe he was like doing the sort of thing where he's like technically true because Solo
Maybe
was
he
like,
wasn't actually there yet.
Right, exactly. He was
early in the show.
Where were they last night? Or I'm sorry,
Boston.
on Friday? They're in Boston. Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of awesome
Smackdown from Boston.
I'm Solo from Boston. What's good? What's the thing in Boston? Clam chowder.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe Solo's getting some clam chowder.
Maybe.
That's terrible. It's probably so. I don't know. People in Boston watching right now, they're like, these guys are
these jackasses. So anyways, as mentioned, yes, Jimmy actually goes down to the floor and confronts Solo. I was like, "Why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you helping me win?" And he turns around and AJ punches him. And then AJ hits Solo with enziguri. AJ then shoves Jimmy to the ring post, puts him in the ring. Phenomenal forearm. AJ wins.
Some Mary Plenty says Larry Bird. I went to go see it. I don't think he's still in Boston, man.
No, isn't he the front office for the Pacers?
Is he still running the Pacers?
Yeah. I don't think he ever lived in Boston the offseason. He always went back to Indiana, I think.
He went to go see the guy that plays Larry Bird in Winnington.
Oh, there we go. Winnington.
Which is basically just Larry Bird.
Yeah, I know.
That guy looks exactly like him.
Dude, his jumper looks exactly like Larry Bird's. Like the mechanics of his jump shot.
I know.
It's crazy. Study some film there. So Solo slides in the ring, AJ takes his leave, but is laid out from behind by Finn and Priest. And they put this finish really confused the live crowd. They were like, "What the hell's going on here?" There was like a murmur of what the heck is this? And so they put AJ back in the ring, and then Solo hits him with a Smode Spike. And commentary is like, "Oh, is Judgment Day helping out?" If they chose sides in this kind of turf war that's going on. Are they helping out the Bloodline? This isn't the first time Judgment Day has helped out the Bloodline in some capacity. It's happened before.
Yeah. No, it's all like it's all convoluted. I don't know.
It really is.
Crowd's like, what? Wait, why did they do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that actually, now that I think about it, it's sort of. Oh yeah, no, but hold on. There's AJ was laid up by Finn and Priest.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that could my theory that the Good Brothers could join Finn. Turn
Possible.
on him. There you
Possible.
go. Finn, JD McDonough, and the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
Maybe Mia Yim.
Really, JD and Finn should just do the tag team, and JD should do all he can to make himself look more like Finn, so we have Finn Too Deep.
Yeah, I agree with that. He should do, because Finn Too Deep was Finn, but then it was also Demon Finn.
Yes.
Yeah, so JD would do the demon stuff because Finn's like,
Yeah.
I'm over it. I don't want to do it no more.
And then JD goes, "Can I have it?
Can I have the demon gimmick?"
He's
And
like,
he's
"Have
like,
what? The demon?
Yeah.
I don't.
Doesn't
think I just give
work
it to
that
you."
way.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. And then he just shows up dressed like, and he's like, "Oh, you look like a demon Funko Pop."
And he's like, "Fine, you can have it. I can't go back to it after seeing this."
You're a player of the Demon Balor on Big Head mode. Anyways, after that we had after that we did have Collision. Oh boy.
Yeah, the next day. Yeah.
What a packed Collision, all sorts of stuff going on then.
I know. I mean, now AEW went from like no stories to like all stories. There's almost too much stuff going on now.
All exposition wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It felt that way at times. Highlight of the show was see Jade Cargill make her return to AEW, laying out first the Renegade Sisters, then Chris Statlander.
Mm-hmm.
She's got her sights set on getting back that TBS title.
Yeah.
I like that she came in, made the save for Chris, laid out the Renegade Sisters with a pump kick and a choke slam, helped Chris up. Friends, nah. Jaded for you.
Yeah.
Holds up that TBS title, lifts it up and says, "I've missed you.
I've missed you.
I've missed you."
Yeah.
You gotta think she's getting that title back sometime soon.
You'd hope so. Absolutely. Yeah. I know. I like that title was featured, and you had also an interview about the Tony Storm stuff.
Outcast, yeah.
It's just, you had a 5-minute women's match. Just one more women's match.
At least one more.
That main event was, again, it was long, and it's like you think, oh, Samoa Joe versus Pentagon, that's going to be cool. It's fine, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't that great.
It seemed like there was a match that built up strictly for that one spot towards the end.
Mm-hmm, yeah, right.
Because they did take several beats to set up that moment.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Where Penta didn't fall for when Joe walked away the first time, then Penta went for it again, and Joe didn't have an opportunity to walk away, so he thought he had him this time too, but then Joe walked away, and Penta went to the table.
Yeah.
So anyways, getting ahead of ourselves there. Also, Bryan Danielson has an interview with Tony Schiavone and alludes to when his career could be coming to an end. He says, "I promised my daughter that by the time she turned 7, I would wrap up my wrestling career." He says, "She's 6 right now."
Yeah.
So that's the year. It's the year left.
Gotta wait. Yeah, I gotta wait for whenever, we get the invites to the Bounce House birthday party, / retirement ceremony.
Exactly.
We'll
have it all at the same place.
Right.
And so Sports Illustrated had a report, said multiple people close to the situation confirmed with Sports Illustrated that Danielson will be stepping away from wrestling full-time in the next year, yet may remain a special attraction for AEW. And I hope he sticks around the creative team, because seemingly part of the deal he has now going to Collision, which makes sense, he's home during the week with his family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Either flies out Friday night or first thing Saturday morning, wherever Collision's happening. Probably flies right back home Sunday morning, and then gets to spend the whole week with his family, work on creative during the week.
Yeah.
The Bryan Danielson setup sounds pretty good.
It's for Bryan Danielson, nobody else. Definitely not Seth Rollins. Like, the fact that he can sit at home and play universe mode with Collision, I'd be down with it. I have no idea what the actual creative structure is. Seemingly he is, from all reports, pretty heavily involved. I don't know how heavily involved Phil Brooks was, or any of the other names that they have there at creative. But, Tony Khan has said, if a bus hits me, Bryan Danielson is my guy.
Give him the book. Yep.
Give him the book. So you got to think that probably Danielson has a lot to do with it. If he remains creatively involved, I liked Collision this week. I thought it was a cool show. I loved Eddie and Claudio in that promo. That was and it was so underdone, but Claudio's performance in this little interview was so good.
Yeah.
It's so understated, but it's this is the Cloudy that I really, really like.
It's almost dismissive.
Yeah, it is.
Completely and utterly dismissive of everything Eddie is talking about.
Because he had a little smirk on his face when Eddie said, "You didn't do business 15 years ago when you left the Indies for the land of make-believe." And Claudio had a little smirk on his face like, I know. And then later on, he does know that, he did give him the handshake.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants. And so Eddie's like, I knew you knew. I knew you remembered. But so Claudio's just he is dismissive of him, but intentionally to get under his skin.
Yes.
Yes.
But he's not he's not over the top dismissive. He's cold almost.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so well done.
It is. It's very simple, but very effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that interview segment set up title versus title, something that we suggested here on the show.
Yeah.
New Japan Strong title versus Ring of Honor World title set up for Grand Slam in New York. In front of Eddie's family. You got to think Eddie's winning that match.
It's the better move than putting it at All In, absolutely, or whenever that other match was that I was complaining about. All Out, I guess. Definitely a better move. So Eddie's going to be a champ now, huh?
Champ, yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's pretty great.
He's like one of my favorites, dude. He's good.
One of the best, man. Everything seems real with him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, speaking of Grand Slam, we have our final set for the Grand Slam Eliminator Tournament. Roderick Strong, a little help from Luchasaurus and Christian, defeated Darby Allin, and then Samoa Joe, with some help from a table, defeats Penta. They advance. It's the finals that we expected to have happen. And you'd expect Samoa Joe to advance and set up the main event for Grand Slam, him and MJF for the title.
Yeah. Do you get the feeling that maybe it's going to be Joe versus MJF? Obviously, Joe's going to lose that, but Cole's going to help him, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be this, and then maybe they'll spin off Cole and Joe for a good little feud.
Could be.
Before revisiting, maybe.
I will say this. There's another option here, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't expect it to happen, but it might be interesting. Where
Joe wins the title and we're all happy about that?
Well, that'd be great. No, I'm thinking something else. They want to save Joe and MJF for a pay-per-view. Because that's a money match. So they save that for Wrestle Dream in October.
Oh, okay.
And somehow Roddy ekes out a win here. Massive interference from the Kingdom. I don't know. You can book it however you want. Roddy somehow gets the win here. Maybe he even wins by countout. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So he faces MJF at Grand Slam. And then you really kind of focus on the Adam Cole story, where Cole's like, oh, I'm so conflicted here about what to do, and he ultimately helps MJF win.
Oh, between Roddy and MJF?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know if I'm Adam Cole right now. I'm like, I don't want anything. I'm embarrassed to have ever known Roderick Strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how I am though. Like when it comes to these like dorks wanting to be friends again after like they've just embarrassed themselves. It's like Hangman Page, run from the Dark Order. They're so cringe.
Yeah.
Same with Roderick Strong. He's wildly entertaining, but if I'm Adam Cole, I'm like, this guy is the most embarrassing person I've ever met.
I know, but here's the thing. He's embarrassing now, but you have 20 years of friendship with this person. You can't. It's not so easy to throw that away. All right, Steve says. The face of the embarrassment means nothing.
Leveling with you, the second you do anything embarrassing, I'm out. I'm out. No more.
That's it.
And then the more you ask to be my friend again, the further I'm going to run.
Call you up, Steve.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm your friend. Tell me I'm your friend.
Click.
Anyways,
I'm your ride or die, man. You could be as cringe as you want. I know I'm fucking probably as embarrassing as hell, and you stuck by me for 30 years now. I appreciate it.
Well, you're not embarrassing at all. What are you talking about?
Really?
No.
Anyways, before we get started with the actual review, though, it's not embarrassing to hit that subscribe button and the notify bell. It's also not embarrassing to click on the join button and become a channel member here at Going In Raw. You could also get the same shit over at patreon.com/Steven Larson. It's a great way to help support the show. And you get the bonus episodes, which we're going to get back to this week because we didn't do it on Friday. We're going to get back to it this week.
Yes.
The bonus episodes, access to the question threads, and of course, you get access to the huge predictions challenges. When what's the big Week of Champions part 2?
It's
what's going on?
No Mercy, September 30th. It's Wrestle Dream, October 1st, and then the following Saturday we got WWE Fastlane.
Ooh.
Those 3 shows.
I
Week
love
of
it,
Champions,
man.
2.
Huge predictions challenge, the Week of Champions, 2. That's right. Right now, the Elite 0356 is our champion.
Incorrect. Nope, that's not
right.
Maz
is. That's right.
Maz.
Ooh, sorry, Elite. Oh, my bad. Maz is. I kept on remembering. I kept on thinking that the Elite was like.
Maz came from behind to get that win.
Good Lord. What, dude, did I? Hold on a second. I got to make sure I fix this in the scroll. Did I? Oh, my God.
Oh, dear. Anyways, while Steve does that, if you're watching live or VOD on the YouTube, if you could, we got 559 people watching right now on the YouTube. You can do 2 things for us. It'd be greatly appreciated. 1, you hit that like button. This one looks like a thumbs up.
Yeah.
2, as Steve mentioned, if you haven't, sub to the channel, please. We're on the road to 198,891 subs. The palindromic numbers, same front ones and back.
198,891.
We love these
numbers. Downhill. Yeah. 198,891.
Numbers are great.
Yeah.
Those are our benchmarks now.
Yeah, right.
So, of course, after that, it'd be 199,991.
Which is only like 9 away from the number that shall not be mentioned.
I know. But then after that, I don't really care about that number. I care about 200,002. That's the number I really care about.
Okay. So we don't care about 200,000. We care about 200,002.
Exactly.
All right. I like it. What would be the palindrome after that?
It would be
201,012.
201,102. I mean, there's tons of them. We can do a whole bunch.
It'd be 201,102.
Or 202,202. 202,202.
Yeah, okay. I think 201,102 comes before.
Oh, that'd work too. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of palindromes in the world.
There's a lot of palindrome numbers. Anyways, let's get into it. Show opened up with the typical show open promos with Joe, Penta, Roddy, Darby talking about their respective matches. For the Eliminator Tournament, the show kicked off with John Moxley taking on Action Andretti for the international title. Mox had a brief promo beforehand, so there's one big difference between the Blackpool Combat Club and every other wrestler in AEW. When we say anytime, any place, we mean it. Tonight we're in Ohio. In Action Andretti, you've won a lot of big matches, but tonight you're basically wrestling Superman, the surface of the sun.
Ouch.
Good luck. Mox saying, I'm in Ohio. This is my home.
Yeah.
It's like Superman getting energy from the sun by being right on the sun. I'm
right,
superpowered
exactly.
right now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if there's like a limit to that. Like if he can get a little closer to like how close can he get to the sun? Like before he just gets burned to a crisp.
Yeah, that's my question too.
Yeah, I'm sure they've explored that at some point. Number one, sun doesn't have a surface. I don't expect Mox to be that nerdy though.
Remember about Superman 4?
Mm-hmm.
When Superman had to throw the nuclear weapon towards the sun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He didn't like fly it into the sun himself.
No. Yeah.
He threw it.
He chucked it there and
so
let the
I
gravity
imagine he
take
only
over.
get so close.
Yeah, it's like really hot. Mordecai with a super chat says, from your previous video, I got a question. Cody's famous, what do you guys want to talk about speech talked a lot about Punk. Do you think Punk also had a factor in Cody leaving? Oh, he alluded to Punk, I think, in that speech, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Who
knows? Who knows how dynamic change when Punk
you want to
came
melt
on.
the internet? Then Punk was part of that personal. What didn't he say? There was like a personal reason or
issue.
An incident?
Personal issue.
Maybe he meant personnel issue.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't. That would melt the internet if it turns out that was the case.
That'd be something else.
That'd be something else. Absolutely.
That'd be something else. So Mox, not surprisingly, gets the win here. Action actually has the upper hand, hits Mox with a tornado. Mox is selling knee quite a bit in this bout. Action starts hitting some Danielson stomps, and while he's doing it, Mox kind of does like a flip with him while he's on his back at a stomp position. So Mox takes his back and puts on the choke, and Action has to tap out.
This is a good point Mopey Corbin brings up. The ultimate number to get, I think, would be 222-222.
All twos.
All twos.
All
Yeah,
twos.
That's good. After that, we had another great Roderick Strong video package. He talks about his friendship with Adam Cole, how it started. He says, no matter what, Cole was there for me, and I'm always there for him, and that's why it hurt when Cole calls somebody else a brother. He says, I haven't changed. Cole's the one who's changed. When I needed him the most, he let me down, but it's fine. I'm going to win this tournament. I'm going to beat Max and become AEW champion. But I still won't be happy. I just want my friend back.
Oh, it was so good.
It was really good, yeah.
He's sitting there with in that chair. His hands on the arms of the chair. It's so good. The kingdom next to him. It's so good. Then we got Chris Statlander versus Robin Renegade. Another quick promo before the match from Statlander says, just like my best friend Orange Cassidy when he was international champ, I'm going to defend this title against anyone, anywhere, because that's what it means to be a fighting champion. She then goes on to beat Robin Renegade despite Robin's sister Charlotte's best effort to get the match, win the match for Robin. Chris reverses a roll-up into a roll-up of her own to get the win. And that's when Charlotte hits the ring or hits Chris with the chop block. And so the Renegade sisters start beating Chris up. Jade's music hits. She comes to the ring. The Renegade sister is like, join on in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Join us. Instead, she takes out Robin and Charlotte, helps Statlander up, hits her with the Jaded, grabs that TBS title, holds it up, and says, I've missed you.
I missed you. Yeah, great to see Jade back. Love that music. It's so awesome.
Oh, yeah. Star. Jade is a star.
A big, bright, shiny star. I wonder what her contract is like with AEW, like how long she signed for initially.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's like, I'm stuck here. Then I'm going to go to WWE. After that, we had a Ruby Soho and Soraya interview. Ruby's pissed off. Renee asked them about Tony's actions at All Out. She's like, Ruby says that she kind of doesn't even remember. I'm sorry, Tony says she doesn't even remember what happened. And Ruby's like, my friend cost me the TBS women's title. I didn't forget. I remember it very clearly. And Soraya's like, listen, she's not with it. She's nuts. I was in the makeup trailer a couple hours ago, and they said she was using mayonnaise as a face cleanser. She's lost her mind. We just need to smack some sense into her, She's nuts. And then Renee asked Soraya about defending the title at Grand Slam. She says, I feel fantastic about it. She says, may I just say, you're so much prettier than Lexi. I'm so sick of her. She's a potstera. She says, yes, I'll be making my re-debut over there, and this time I'm going to walk in champ and walk out champ. It was a good little interview here.
It was. Then we got the Claudio Eddie sit down. Steve, you could be Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be Claudio.
Oh, got you. I'm going to get you.
And so Tony asked Claudio what the issue is, and Claudio says, that's a question for Eddie, because honestly, I don't even remember.
Oh, you're going to do that? You're going to do that? You're going to play the I don't remember game? Oh, like you're better than me? This is what I'm talking about, the judgmental shit that him and Brian and those other guys do. You know what you did. You left the independents without doing business with me. When I considered you a friend, you go and leave, you go to land and make believe.
And so Claudio says, sometime the right choice is not the easy choice.
You lived with me. I lived with you. You met my parents. You know what they went through?
And Claudio then says, you know who your parents wish you would be like?
Oh, all right. Let's play this game. Play this game then, since he's so confident. New York, why don't you embarrass me in Queens in front of my parents? Put up your Ring of Honor title. But wait, I'm going to sell some tickets here, Tony. I'm going to sell some tickets. I'm going to put this strong openweight title up, a title I would die for. Won't you do that then?
And then Claudio agrees but says, under one condition, you owe me a handshake. You still owe me respect.
Oh, so you do remember. You do remember because I didn't shake your hands 15 years ago.
And Claudio says, you will shake my hand, and you will give me respect. If I lose this title, it'll be to a better man, and that's never been you, and it will never be you. And so Claudio gets up and leaves.
Such a great line. Then Eddie just starts giving twos. All right, Tony, we're done then, Tony? Yes, Eddie, we're done. Oh, this guy.
He's like, there you go, TK. We're selling some tickets. We're selling
some tickets. Oh, we're selling tickets, TK.
Selling tickets.
We're doing that.
So then we got Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club Gold. Taking on Aerostar, Gravity, and Dios del Inframundo. It's Lord of the Underworld.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Inframundo.
This was not a long match. It was not a terribly competitive match. Bang Bang Gang gets the win here after Juice hits Dios del Inframundo with his finish, the reverse DDT bit. And then they show Andrade. He's watching the TV, smiling at first, and they get real serious.
Yeah. They had him like normal watching TV, too. There was a couple of people watching TV this time, and he was the normal one, I didn't like that. I want to see what's on the TV, so they need to start doing this, more.
Yeah, maybe he was watching Wedding Crashers. We don't know he was watching this match.
Could be watching Wedding Crashers, The Hangover,
Wedding Singer,
and The Wedding Singer. Yeah, any of the mid-aughts comedies. I feel like
any of those. Maybe he's a huge fan of those.
That could be. Yeah, doing research for trivia, perhaps. This was awesome and infuriating. This next bit, CJ Perry dropped a fucking killer promo. Why is it?
So she says, I was your first casualty on your righteous road. You said you loved me. You said you couldn't return until you got gold. Miro, when you lost the TNT title, you lost yourself. Mm-hmm. Last week at All Out, all I want to do is surprise you, show you that I had your back. I want to help you become champion. But God, you're so stubborn. It's not stubborn in the good way.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, you really have forsaken your God, your gold, and your hot, flexible wife. Miro, if you're really willing to go down this path, I respect that, but I'm going to have to go down mine. I'm so torn. I sat on the sidelines for 2 years, breaking myself apart and asking myself if I have what it takes. Every fabric of myself is yelling, don't leave until you find out. I was once the coldest manager in all of wrestling. I think I want to do it again. I guess that she's going to manage somebody other than Miro at this point.
Kind of feels that way. I thought that her delivery was so good in this. It was awesome. Like every line that was right, even though I didn't see her during 80% of it, her lines were awesome.
Yeah.
It was, man, it was so good. I'm really looking forward to seeing what she brings to the equation. I wasn't sure if she was going to start like gaslighting Miro or something like that, if she was going to be sort of, I didn't know what role she was going to have necessarily here, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with this. I have no idea what it is, but
same.
It's pretty cool.
I'm sure you were huge on this next part, Steve. Excuse me, a Dark Order recruitment video. Are you going to join the Dark Order?
Fuck no. God, these guys are dorks.
All right, moving on.
No, I like the comedic aspect of this. I thought it was fine. I thought it's a good direction for them. I have no idea exactly what it's going to entail, but I love them all. I think they're great as performers. In storyline, the way they're always whining about Hangman Page is what draws my ire. But no, come on. Silver's comedic timing is phenomenal.
Oh, so good.
And the bits where like they went to close up on their cheesy smiles. I thought this was all good stuff. I'm really curious to see where they're going to go with it as well.
Yeah. Then the Acclaimed have a video package highlighting or announcing their world tour. Said they started in London when they won the Trios titles. They went to Chicago, unveiled their new titles, defended the titles twice, and got to hang out with Rodzilla, Dennis Rodman. They say the tour continues in New York, a Grand Slam, and Castro announces a few other cities, and they're ready to take over the wrestling world.
Yeah. After that, we had Rey Fénix versus Angelico. And so Alex, before that, we've got a Fénix and Alex promo. Alex says,
picture deal.
Yeah, says Mox tried to take Rey's mask. Rey says he's looking for his revenge. Sorry, he didn't say that. Rey said that. And then so Fénix gets a win here with a Fénix driver on Angelico. This was fun stuff. He undershot a suicide dive, which is really bizarre for Fénix.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
But otherwise, it was a lot of fun. Then we had an FTR interview, and Cash says, let's run that list down. We had the trilogy with the Briscoes. We've beaten the Bucks, the Guns, Lethal, and Jarrett, Bullet Club. Who's the next team to step up? And Dex says, I don't like to be off Collision, but we need more challengers. So I propose the FTR Open Challenge. So any young tag team wants to step up and prove their worth, we'll put the tag titles on the line.
Family.
Here's the thing. We need challengers so I can feed my family. I got to get my Wi-Fi back so I can do my podcast again. I got a lot to get off my chest. Then we had Roderick Strong versus Darby Allin. But before that, so Luchasaurus and Christian attacked Darby as he's skateboarding backstage. Christian asked Darby, are you in this Grand Slam tournament because you realize you're never going to beat me for this TNT title? Not only will you never win this title, I'm never going to win another title as long as I'm in AEW. And then Luchasaurus lawn darts Darby into the garage door. But, that doesn't stop him from taking on this match. It was much too long, and Roderick Strong probably should have just beat him pretty quickly. But we got a really long match. What did you think of Darby Allin walking down, and instead of Nick Wayne trying to be like, dude, you should not do this. This is a bad idea. You just need to, not do it. He was like trying to egg on the crowd and be like, oh, good idea, Darby. Great idea. Sacrifice your long-term health for this title shot, right?
For potentially immediate glory. I don't know. Maybe this is all part of Nick Wayne's plan, because during the match, AR Fox comes down to try to help out because the Kingdom's ringside, cornering or in the corner of Roderick Strong. And so rather than AR Fox or Nick Wayne really accomplishing much of anything, they just argue with each other, and they have their one opportunity to really help Darby. Instead, they cost him the match because Matt Taven gets on the apron, tries to interfere. Nick Wayne gets him off. So Wayne's kind of holding up Taven, and Fox is looking to hit him with a shooting star press off the apron. But then Bennett comes in and pushes Taven out of the way, so Nick Wayne eats that shooting star press.
Yeah.
Darby's distracted by all that, looks for a coffin drop. Roddy gets his knees up, follows the end of Heartache to get the win. And then Nick Wayne, and AR Fox get in the ring and to start arguing with each other. This is a mess.
It's an absolute disaster.
It's an absolute disaster. That spot where Roddy did the backbreaker on Darby on the top turnbuckle, that was great.
That was rad. Somebody on Twitter put some cartoon noises to it. It was awesome.
Oh, wow.
It was hilarious. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, man. Roderick Strong really blew out Darby's back there, man. I tell you what. Anyways.
Yeah, it certainly seemed that way, huh?
Oh, man, he blew out his back something fierce. After that, we had a Powerhouse Hobbs promo. This was awesome.
Yeah.
He said, every man has their limit. I took the Redeemer to his. I proved I pray to no man. I look to this book for guidance. Last Sunday, we saw who stood tall. We saw who the real winner was. This book, this chapter is still unwritten, and everyone will fall to the book of Hobbs.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Then we got a Keith Lee interview. So Lexi is just asking about Keith Lee going solo on Collision. And Keith Lee says, and so I prove with my first match here on Collision, a very, very quick match. However, there are certain individuals who are avoiding me anyway. So if I'm going to get to work, I've got to get the work done somewhere. I'm here with, as you call yourselves, colliders.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, now that I'm here, I am the Collision. And my advice to you,
run. A little shout out to Bray there.
Yeah.
Run.
I mean, at least he alluded to Swerve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever see that match, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that is.
Yeah, I have no idea what the deal is. None.
After that, the Righteous apparently are making their way from Ring of Honor to AEW.
They got Stu Grayson with them now.
They got Stu with them, and then the dude
Dutch
from
and
Honor
Vincent.
No More, and then this Dutch guy.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It was well put together video package.
Like, if you're going to bring somebody from Ring of Honor, bring Shane Taylor.
Or Athena.
Oh, my God. She's so good.
She's amazing.
Look at that guy back there. What is that all about? What? Oh, no, you're fine.
No,
I'm
see,
sorry.
now
I
you
made her
pointed out.
self-conscious.
Self-conscious. Way to go.
Sorry, my bad.
She was comfortable.
She was very comfortable. After that, Lacey says she says, you live your life on that couch. She shames her.
Hey, you know what? If I could live my life on a single piece of furniture.
Bro, be there all day long. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I could.
After that, we had Bryan Danielson interview. Shivani asked him what's next after winning it all out. He says, what's next? He says, I told my daughter once she turned 7, I'd start finishing up my career. She's 6 now. I'm a man who keeps my, everybody's booing, boo, 6. He's like, I'm a man who keeps my promises. He's basically like just turning the ire of the wrestling world on his kid. Don't turn 7, kid. He's like, especially people I love, so time is running out. But that said, I will not go gently into that good night. If you think I will, you do not know who I am. I am Odysseus heading home from the Trojan War, and I'm going to fight the Cyclops. He says, you'll have to tie me to the mast so I can face the siren song, and I'm going to kick everybody's head in. If this is my last year, if this is my final year, this will be the most epic year of my career. Guess what? I'm calling my shot. My next shot is this. October 1st, Seattle at Wrestle Dream. I want to fight the guy who calls himself the best technical wrestler in the world, Zack Sabre Jr. I hope he puts that beautiful, gorgeous New Japan television title on the line. What the fuck happened to your pen?
Apparently snapped it in half.
Oh, my God, the power. It's like you're on the surface of the sun.
Guess so. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. I guess I got to lay off the weights a little bit.
I guess so, man. Hand. My goodness gracious.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, so Danielson's interviewed by Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
Starks
says, hold on. It's pretty fitting that you're here on Collision. I have to sit in catering once again. This is what I was talking about. The attention always seems to fall on the other person. Reason I had to whip Steamboat's ass in the first place. And honestly, after Sunday, I think I've got everybody's attention. After Sunday, I think I put everyone on notice. I immortalized myself as the man. The face of Collision as a person who will do things that you, Bryan Danielson, could never do. I talked a lot about being given bread when I wanted a full course meal, and I realized when you didn't tap me out and I woke up in a crimson mask, I realized I graduated from being hungry to being greedy. And now I'm going to take and take and take and take and take because it's my nature and it is what I do.
Yeah. So Danielson responds, he says, Ricky, I wish you had been a little bit more patient because I wasn't done yet. I was in the ring with you on Sunday. I saw what was in here, pointing to his heart. He says, you know what? I approve. We say in the Blackpool Combat Club, if you want to be with us, you got to bleed with us. And on Sunday, and then Brian starts extending a Blackpool Combat Club shirt to Ricky. Ricky reaches out for it, but that big Bill W. Morrissey lays out Danielson. And Stark's like, he's sort of looking, is like, ooh, man, what the heck? And then he pulls W. Morrissey off. But then he beats down on Brian. Mox runs to the ring, tries to choke out Bill, tosses him aside, hits him with a big Bill boot, hits some ground and pound while Starks chokes out Brian with the Blackpool Combat Club shirt. So maybe there was going to be some consideration, but no Ricky Starks to the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, it was very subtle when Ricky kind of reached out for the shirt. So
yeah, maybe he doesn't really.
He was going to pull a DDP or when he joined the NWO and then just attacked them all.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Not to be confused when he actually joined the Wolfpack at a house show.
At the house show, that was different, and
that's
like not canon.
It was a house show.
It was just a house. Who knows if it even happened? We just saw it on Scoops.net.
Yeah, it could never happen.
We gotta bring that back.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you don't think so? Not good?
I don't know.
I mean, all they did was just make up wrestling news. Tons of people
like anybody could do that.
Like wrestling. We just won't put our names on it.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Yeah, that works, right?
I guess, but we're saying this now, so if it shows up, you're like, oh, this is...
Dude,
Steve
we
Larson's
are an hour, 17 minutes deep into the show.
I'm sure there's a few people that care about our collision recaps. After that, we had a Big Bill interview.
W. Morrissey, I'm back for round 2.
And Tony Schiavone says TK has signed Mox versus Big Bill for the international title on Dynamite. And Big Bill says, oh, John Moxley, he's the toughest guy we got. Well, I just went out there and beat his ass on Wednesday in his hometown of Cincinnati. I'm going to beat his ass again, become international champion. So then Phoenix steps in with Penta and Alex. And Alex says, just because you're big doesn't mean you get to jump the line. Phoenix has a score to settle with Mox, and he's the next international champ. And Bill says, get to the back of the line, and your brother is about to go get manhandled by Samoa Joe. And this upsets Ray Phoenix, and Alex holds him back, and that was just it. It kind of fizzled out.
It totally did fizzle out. Like there weren't they should have cut when fisticuffs were kind of shoving. It just sort of petered out, and then Morrissey just sort of looked off into space.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. We got our highest view count. So we're at 581 concurrents right now. By the way, if you guys are just joining us, hit that thumbs up. Oh, we got Bree Mode in the chat. What's up, Bree Mode?
Oh, we got a super chat here from Lord Blake. Says, any plans for Impact 1000 watch along on Thursday?
No plans right now, but it's, I guess, a possibility. Mason Stukey also had a super chat here earlier. Says, who should Danielson's last match be against? Will he get the world title? How could we get Samoa Joe versus Danielson before they retire?
Ricky Stark should retire Bryan Danielson.
Oh, that's a good one. That works. Then we had Samoa Joe versus Pentagon. You mentioned the spot where they do the thing where Pentagon jumps over. He keeps on sticking the landing, and then eventually he eats table.
Yeah.
That
was rough.
Yeah.
That probably hurt.
Probably, yeah.
Quite a bit.
He hit a lot of floor, with the table.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of floor. But that wasn't enough to finish off Penta because Joe puts him in the ring, covers. Penta kicks out, and Penta actually fights back, looking for a Made in Japan, but Joe escapes that. Locks on the clutch, and Penta taps.
Yup. Yeah.
It was a fine enough match, but yeah, I didn't necessarily ever really rise above fine enough match. I get what you're saying about it, kind of feeling.
Little bit on the long side.
Yeah. They should have had Darby versus Joe in this round because Darby Joe is always wildly entertaining.
That's always awesome. Yeah. No, I agree with that. We got a couple questions here if you want to answer some questions.
Sure. I'm on the Patreon as we speak.
All right. Jonathan Vieira says, with Halloween coming up, what are your guys' favorite things to dress up as? John Cena, because it's fairly easy.
CM Punk, because, again, it's fairly easy.
That was a fun one 2 years ago. That was really good. The Blind
Was it
Man.
just last year? It was last year we did.
Oh, it was just last year. Yeah, that's right.
It was last year. I liked your Smackdown hacker costume. That was fun.
That was fun, yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. No, but Tony Khan and CM Punk last year was that was peak dress up.
Hard to top.
Yeah.
Can you dress up as Jungle Boy?
I don't think so.
All right, it's an idea. So then I could use my costume again. My CM Punk. I just need to get a new shirt.
I mean, is there a different? I could dress up as like Ace Steel in that dress shirt.
I mean, you could do Tony Khan again. Just during the show, have a monitor fall on you.
And get like do like a green screen of like a an empty dressing room,
something like that. Yeah,
and you could just be extra aggressive towards me during the thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, nothing. The thing is, like, that's just trying to recreate magic because
I know.
Last year the All Out Scrum set was just amazing.
It was really good.
That was so good.
Really
the only thing that we should have done was like low modulate our voices.
Yeah, I know.
So we sound like this.
We're all learning here, Tony. Alex Foster, how do you guys feel about main roster talent winning championships in NXT? I guess so long as it's not happening on such a regular basis that it makes all the NXT talent look like chumps. I don't.
How are they going to do this Becky Lynch to Tiffany Stratton thing?
I don't know.
Are they going to walk the finish and then just not do a rematch?
Maybe.
Is Becky going to be the new NXT champion? That seems beneath her.
Maybe. Well, I mean, maybe.
And then who's going to take it off her?
Roxanne.
Let's see here. Blind Mask says, what has been the funniest wrestling moment ever for you guys, both intentional and unintentional?
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Like, I don't know. I'm
mean,
trying
it's
to
gross,
think
but whenever I see the video of CM Punk pooping in the ring and the ref had to pick it up, it's funny.
It is funny. I know you and I have like laughed our asses off over something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's been a lot of those, so I don't know what like peak.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That's
a tough
was.
One.
It really is.
DJ Fluffy here says, with AEW having more and more pay-per-views on the calendar year, do you see them eventually having a pay-per-view every month?
You know what? Sorry, Diehard Homer's got it. It's probably heavy metal.
Oh yeah,
probably heavy metal.
Yeah,
which you guys can watch right now over the Friendo Club Wrestling channel.
You can.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry. What was the question?
With AEW having more and more pay-per-views on the calendar year, do you see them eventually having a pay-per-view every month? If so, will it destroy pay-per-view buys? Because who in this day can afford to drop $50 a month?
I mean, that's
that
a really
seems to be
good
the direction
point.
they're heading. It'd be telling if December they announce a pay-per-view.
We're gonna be getting to the point of B-level pay-per-views, and nobody's gonna want to pay $50 for that.
No,
it's really gonna be testing the fan base to expect them to do that. That's why I think that they probably want to get that max deal so they can run pay-per-views there and not charge the fans. Yeah,
I would guess so. But they if there are going to be the B-level pay-per-views, like if Wrestle Dream is kind of like the first of the in your house style pay-per-views, keep them 3 hours, charge $30 for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then you can have Double or Nothing, All In, All Out, Full Gear, Revolution be your major pay-per-views. You can do the 4-hour shows there. You can charge you $50, but because doing a 4 to 5 hour pay-per-view every month is too much.
It is too much. I agree.
I think it's too much from a creative standpoint. It's way too much in terms of having to sit through that on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too much.
Anthony F. says, one of the best things to ever happen in wrestling was a Firefly Funhouse cinematic match. What would the cinematic match telling the Stephen Larson story look like? How would it be filmed? Who would direct it? What was the central theme? So let's say Stephen Larson, the comic book, we found the $1 billion it would take to make that movie. Who would we get to direct that movie?
Who's the best director in your estimation to do like absurdist stuff?
Oh, is Dick Lester still around? Is he still alive? I don't think he's alive anymore.
I don't think Richard Lester's around anymore.
No.
Like the tone in my mind would be something like The Double.
Oh wow,
what a great movie that is.
I mean, this is like a. What about like a Richard Ayoade?
That's who directed The Double. Yeah.
Was that The Double? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's good. You know what I'd probably do? This is what I would do. I'm going to say we get the dudes from the Righteous Gemstones.
Good.
And I'm played by Danny McBride, and you're played by the baby Billy. What's his name?
Walter Goggins.
Walter Goggins.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Have you watched Vice Principals?
I watched the first episode, but I watched
like the first few. And it's good. It's funny, but it's not like, oh, I got to watch the next one funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the vibe I got from the first episode. It was like, it was fine, but it didn't have the energy that Righteous Gemstones had.
Yeah.
Mayor of Planet Houston, do you feel that Collision is on the right track to surviving the post-punk era? I mean, we're only one episode into it, really. I mean, I feel like AEW as a whole, the issues that we have talked about with AEW for the longest, for months, years, still exist.
Mm-hmm.
They are seemingly focusing more on stories of late, and that's a step in the right direction. There's still issues they need to correct.
Yeah.
But at least seemingly right now, the storyline problem that was happening for since the last year, they've realized that's an issue, and they're making efforts to rectify that issue. Now, once that's kind of, all right, we're in a good rhythm creatively in terms of having people involved in stories, then, hey, maybe Tony Khan focus on some of the other issues that could use some work.
I think one of the bigger issues that I've noticed as of late with them, and I think losing Punk, I think Punk was sort of one of the things that they were trying to do this with, and I've mentioned it here before, is the same problem that WWE had for a long time, which was they had a hard time building major stars.
Yeah.
And I feel like AEW kind of needs to focus on that. Like Malachi Black should have been a singles guy.
Yeah.
They sort of have something. I think they got something really good with Samoa Joe. Brian Danielson's really good.
But now's the time that we take those guys and you elevate wrestlers like Ricky Starks, which they're doing.
They're starting to do. Yeah. I do think that they're sort of on the path with that, and the stories thing is going to help. It's going to take some time, but MJF and Adam Cole are clearly a draw. I think they have something really good with a story there and two guys who can be stars. So I do think they're sort of putting pieces in place. It's just sometimes AEW tries to speed run things, and it's like they got to take a slower approach to building guys. They did a really good job with MJF, and they need to do that with a couple other people.
If they take a similar path in terms of taking their time with Starks, Swerve, gosh, I can probably name half a dozen other like young up-and-coming or talents that aren't quite in the main event level yet.
Yeah,
you know,
right, yeah.
Where you invest the time and creative energy in terms of building them up and then to be main eventers. And then you got a whole new, a group of huge stars in your main event, while wrestlers like Joe and Danielson, Jericho,
like, let me ask you this:
as they get older,
I know it's a dream match, so to speak, for Wrestle Dream. Is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Danielson on a pay-per-view? Like, Zack Sabre Jr. is not in your company. Shouldn't you be using Danielson in every conceivable way to build up your roster in your company?
I guess you have to kind of toe the line between, assuming if you take Danielson at his word when he said, I'm going to go out swinging. I'm sure there's a part of him that wants to have these matches before he, even if it's just like a semi-retirement in a year.
Yeah.
It's like, while I'm able to do these, I want to get these matches, and these are held. This is probably one of the reasons I left WB for, is to get this match with Zack Sabre Jr.
That's a good point.
The fans probably want it. I'm sure because it's something Danielson really wants. Tony Khan might feel obliged. All right. Danielson left WWE a pretty secure position to come here. He's a huge part, seemingly, of the creative on Collision. I'm going to give him this match because he wants it.
Yeah,
and
right. Yeah.
Whether it helps AEW in particular or not, it's going to get people talking, and that's good for business. So,
John Hosey says, does it bother either of you that the brand split isn't very firm, or is this soft split more enjoyable? I'll be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about the brand split. I really don't.
There's a certain thing to be said about the excitement level where someone who's usually on Raw shows up on SmackDown or vice versa. Like, oh shit, what is Judgment Day doing on SmackDown? Because they're a Raw. I know they're tag champs. They get defended on both brands. But
yeah, I know. As long as you keep like certain people away from each other for a while, I just don't care. It's like that. They've never treated the brand split serious. Well, it's not since like 2006. They haven't treated a brand split. Or 2016, they did a good job around then when they did that first, the whenever 2017, whenever it was.
It was 2016 when they brought the brand split back and Finn got drafted and all that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they kept that pretty firm back then, and it was fine. Sorry, but it's just, they just haven't done it for a while. It doesn't really bother me.
No. Skylar here says, don't know if this is a question you like, but what's the best heel turn in a movie?
Oh man, great question.
Ooh. Todd Parker.
Oh wow, that was a shocking one. That was a super shocking one. Yeah. That's a really good one. Golly, dude. Oh. Hal.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That's good.
That level of I'm fucked when he's like, open the Bay Pod doors, Al. Can't do that, Dave. Oh no, what? This is space, man. We're in space. Can't be fucking around with the Bay Pod doors.
No, you can't. Come on, Hal. Limited oxygen in this pod here. Open the bay doors, Hal.
He's like, nah.
It's like, nah.
Nah, Dave. Yeah.
Listen here, incel.
All right. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.